9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Markus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights, dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Flying guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Markus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Markus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
We made it. Or at least I made
it. I just want the people to know, and we putting this on record, it was not me this time. I just want all of y'all to know that. Right? You know what I mean? Like, you got Tiffany saying black people never on time.
I saw that. I was like, come on now.
You got the people thinking it was me.
My bad, Tone. My bad. That was my fault. I was having technical difficulties because I'm the one that set up the room. So anybody, if you podcast and if you collaborate with somebody, the person that sets up the room, if their stuff is messed up, the other person can't really do anything.
All I can do is just be here.
Yeah. And
honestly, Markus suggested that we start while he figures it out. And I'm like, hell no, because I'll be in this damn thing filibustering all night.
Oh my God, that was and listen, I'm a nerd. I got my own system, built my own PC and all that kind of stuff. And for a minute, I thought I burned my motherboard. So I was over here sweating bullets for a minute because I use this for work too.
Yeah, so, yeah. I was sweating too, man. You would have had me in here trying to outdo Cory Booker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Tiff, I feel you. I do not like to be late. I'm from the old school, coming in meetings. If you on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time.
I agree.
So, but we got it together. We
did.
But welcome to the show, to the midweek show. So we got a good one for you tonight. Got our guy Barrett Brooks scheduled to come through at around 8:30ish.
Yes.
So we're gonna have a good time talking to him. A lot of stuff going on with the Eagles. Me and Tone was talking before we started. I'm sick to death of all of this trade AJ Brown talk. I'm so tired of it. I don't think people really understand what they have, and I think maybe Eagles fans get a little bit too spoiled.
They are,
and get a little bit too full of themselves when you talk about what they are annoyed with or what they're tired of. And I'm like, please, man, we remember what bad behavior is, and this ain't it. You can be annoyed with people. I'm okay with being annoyed with somebody because I don't like how they go about their business. I would do it differently. I can be annoyed with you, but being annoyed does not make me want to get rid of one of the better receivers in the NFL.
Hey, Markus,
now or a couple years from now.
Hey, Markus, look, flies and gnats annoy me, right?
Facts.
That don't mean I'm gonna stop going to the cookouts.
Facts.
You feel what I'm saying? You feel me?
Like, worried about the wrong thing, man.
Hey, listen, I got certain family members that irritate the hell out of me. You think I'm gonna stop showing up to the barbecue? You think I'm gonna stop showing up to Thanksgiving? Man. I know where my bread is buttered. I know who make them candied yams. You know what I'm saying? I know who put the macaroni and cheese on the table. You know what I'm saying? That's AJ Brown. AJ Brown is a guy that, look, at the end of the day, hate him or love him. Hate him or love him. AJ Brown is the least. He's not a diva in the traditional sense.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And I don't even think he's a diva personally. I think he's a guy who thinks a lot and overshares. But
I agree with that.
But even in oversharing, it's cryptic, to some degree.
But that's that's
but again,
this is the era that we live in.
I'll take these issues.
I'll take these problems.
See, because people don't want any issues, and obviously, no one wants issues. No one wants to have to worry about whether their star player is happy or pleased or displeased with what's going on. Especially if you're winning, that makes it that much more confusing, right? But when you really just take a step back, no matter how annoying it is, and when people say, "Hey, I just don't want any potential things to offset what they got going here," I understand that logic. The Eagles also understand more than you who AJ Brown is.
Absolutely.
And Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie didn't just trade for him, but they paid him upon trade, and then before the first contract was even done, they re-upped him for $32 million.
Re-upped him.
So he went from being traded for to getting a $25 million a year salary to now making a $32 million a year salary, all while them knowing exactly who he is. You think Big Dom and Howie and these guys don't vet these players before they come on this team? If you notice, there's a common thread between all these players when it comes to just character. And say what you want about the Eagles, say what you want about some of their parts, they're all high character guys. And you know, on every team, you're going to have your Dennis the Menaces. You're going to have them. That's Jalen Carter, right? He's the one you got to pull off the edge. You know what I mean? But AJ Brown, he sends out a couple posts here and there that may make you nervous.
You know what?
So what?
That's why I guess that's why I'm so disappointed in Philadelphia fans. If we so hardcore, if we so no one likes us, we don't care. Hungry dogs run faster. You know, underdog is the hungry dog. If we gonna take on all of those monikers, all of that, and then we worried about a tweet. Knowing our history in this city, knowing our history with T.O. and Jalen Reagor and Cooper, what was it? Cooper Rush? What was the Cooper?
You're talking about
Brett, was it? No. What was the dude that said the stuff like
listen, J.J. Whiteside had to do with
Jalen
Reagor.
But who was the dude that got in trouble because he said the racist stuff at the concert?
Oh, you talking about Riley Cooper?
Riley Cooper. Thank you.
Who else?
All of them.
We had to deal with the James Thrashes of the world. No disrespect.
You know what? At least James Thrash got out there and just played.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's all he could do. Shoot.
You know, but at the end of the day, like, you tell me, did you see what Justin Jefferson did the other day? You want those problems? Did you see what Myles Garrett did the other day? As good as he is, Hall of Fame level, do you want those problems? Like
and also players, you know, hey, I told when that footage came out of Myles Garrett the other day, him throwing his helmet on the sideline.
Yeah.
You know what I tweeted? You shouldn't have took the money, Toombs.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have took the money, Toombs.
But I gotta push back on that, Tone.
Of course, you guys want to get paid. Of course.
So how about this?
We know that. We know guys want to get paid. But guess what? I don't want to hear you. Like, you want me to feel bad for you.
How about this, though, Tone? And this is kind of going off the conversation that we had. You get the gig, right? You get the gig, and they promise you the office. But when you get there and start the first day, well, what had happened was we thought we were going to have it for you, but we got to put you in the cubicle with two other people until we get you together, and then they don't never get you together.
But here's where your analogy is flawed, right? This isn't you're an internal hire. So you know how this company's been doing business for quite some time.
Yeah, but it doesn't. My problem is, I guarantee you, when he signed that contract, I don't care how much it's worth. When he signed that contract, I guarantee you, he had some assurances of what the Cleveland Browns were going to do on their part.
And that was before the draft.
Hey, Myles Garrett, we want you to be a part of this rebuild program. We got to build a new stadium, so we need a face. You're the defensive side. We're going to get the offense together. Okay. You see, we almost had it together a couple years ago when Flacco was here. we're gonna get that. We got some new guys coming in. They made some assurances, and this year Myles Garrett is the only one paying his half of the rent. So I don't care
that wasn't a
if
question.
he signed for the money. If the other party is not doing what they're supposed to do, he got a right to be pissed off. He got a right to be pissed off. You told me you was going to get a quarterback. You told me you was going to help. I'm doing my part. You ain't doing your part.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And we are definitely getting a little to the weeds here, but this is my last point on the Myles Garrett thing. It gets to a point where you have to believe people when they tell you who they are and when they show you who they are. He has nothing to substantiate those assurances that was given to him.
But that don't mean he can't be mad about it.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't. When you play football,
I'll put it to you this way: he could be mad. He could be mad, but I can still point at you and say, "Shouldn't have took the money, Toombs."
I ain't mad at. I'm not mad at that.
You could have got that bag. You could have got that bag somewhere else, Toombs.
He could have. He could have. But I think my problem, not my problem. What I see his frustration is, and this is what the talk is in Cleveland, because
what were they lied to him?
In my opinion, they see the writing on the wall with Dillon Gabriel, and they want to see what Shedeur can do. That's part of it. From the simple fact of, if you are the head coach, your job is to put the best foot forward to give our team the best chance at success.
And they know they're not doing that.
They know they're not doing it. In my opinion, that's what his frustration is. Now, if they went and kept Kenny Pickett and he sucked, and Flacco sucked, and Gabriel sucked, and then they put Shedeur in there and he sucked, you got what you got. But everybody in that locker room knows good and damn well Shedeur is better than Gabriel. And if you're not putting the right person on the field, so if you're going to trot out J.J. Arcega-Whiteside and you know A.J. Brown is still on the bench, why are you not playing A.J. Brown?
Exactly.
What's the problem? Well, we don't think he's ready. How do you know if you ain't playing?
Exactly.
Dillon Gabriel started 4 games, about to be his 5th starting game, and he still don't look ready. So now what's your excuse? So you mean to tell me the dude you've been spending time with ain't ready either?
And they traded Flacco away, and he's been doing pretty good with the Bengals. This is just to bring it full circle, right?
Yeah.
When you have too many quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks.
No quarterbacks, absolutely.
And when it comes to A.J. Brown and the Philadelphia Eagles, just how it isn't easy to find a franchise quarterback, it's not easy to find somebody to do what A.J. Brown does at the intensity and level that he does it at.
Correct.
You know, there's a lot of people who like to just say, hey, well, if AJ don't want to fall in line, we could trade him and, we'll replace him. We could always find somebody to catch the ball.
Well, last person that did that got fired.
Hold on. The Eagles have never shown you a consistent pattern of being able to find people who can catch the ball.
Facts.
Let's be honest about that. Let's be honest about that. You know what I mean?
Facts.
The first sign of life we saw for that receiver room.
Until we started dipping and dabbing in the SEC.
Well, it was the Devontae Smith draft pick, but that prior to that, the Jalen Reagor pick was so egregious.
So egregious.
He had like Devontae Smith was a slam dunk. That was a no-brainer. Wherever he went, he was going to be productive. Now there are people who had doubts because of his size,
right?
But I felt Devontae Smith was a no-brainer. You couldn't mess that up, right? And also, if you did mess it up, who could blame you? You drafted the Heisman-winning wide receiver from Alabama.
Right.
Who will blame you?
And before that, Alshon? Signing Alshon?
Yeah, Alshon. That was a free agent. I'm sorry, that was a trade, right? Or was he a free agent? Because I knew
I thought he was a free agent.
Yeah, I think he was as well, because he was let go by Chicago, or he wasn't re-up by Chicago.
Right.
Came off that PED season where he was suspended. But bottom line is you're better with AJ than you are without him.
Absolutely.
You're better with AJ than you are without him. Everybody knows that. It's not even a question.
And here's the thing that people keep missing. And this is when this is when I get infuriated with Philly talk. Philly radio, WIP 97.5, the content around Philadelphia. I got to hear Colin Cowherd talk about they can win without him.
That's
And then I hear them idiots on IP saying the same thing. Well, we've shown we can win without him. Like, hold on.
Well, you beat the and this
Wait
is
a
the
minute.
part where
So everybody wants to give that example, right? So when we lost to the Broncos, Jalen Hurts threw for 280. When we lost to the Giants, he threw for 283. When we beat the Vikings, he threw for what, 325?
Yeah, like 319, yeah, something like that.
And then we beat the Giants, and he only threw for 170. He threw for 4 tutties, though. But the reason why everybody's saying we look so much better without AJ, they just want to completely omit that our run blocking was so much better. If Saquon Barkley had 100 yards, we had 200-yard rushers.
If AJ played in that game plays out the same way.
Absolutely.
It plays out the exact same way because they were going to run that ball regardless. And also, like you said, it's easy to just say, oh, yeah, they won without AJ. But when you really watch the game, they won because the offensive line set the tone.
They won because the offensive line finally run block.
They woke up. The offensive line woke up. Like that's not an AJ Brown thing. So
ain't got nothing to do with AJ.
Listen, people can get cute all they want. They're just trying to create a narrative. They can get cute all they want. This Eagles team is not the same team without AJ Brown because regardless, AJ Brown requires you to game plan for him. Correct. And when you don't have AJ Brown on the football field, it alters how teams game plan for you. Simple as that. Teams are game planning for the personnel. They're game planning for the personnel. And if you don't have AJ Brown, that's one less player for them to think about. Yeah, you got Smitty. Yeah, you got Garrett. Yeah, you got Saquon. That's more riches than most teams have right there. But the reality is you're significantly better with AJ Brown, and that shouldn't even be a question. So whatever feelings you may or may have about him posting on Instagram or whatever it may be, tuck it. Tuck it. It's just that
it's just infuriating, dude. It's like
just tuck it.
It's too easy to figure it out. It's too easy, and that's when I get pissed off because even the people in Philadelphia, y'all not watching tape. You going off the highlights. You feeding off the narratives at the national level. The national people don't watch tape. They don't have time. They don't have time to watch tape. They got to do too many things. They gotta comment on too many games. So they don't have time to sit down and watch a whole game. They don't have time to do that. What they do is they get stats shoveled in their face. Ooh, the Eagles had their best offensive output and AJ Brown wasn't there. You know what that means? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That means Brett Toth looked better at center than he did at left guard. That means Landon Dickerson looked some way back to normal at left guard. And Mailata finally was playing well at left tackle. That's what that means. And we had 2 running backs that go for over 100 yards. That's why we had the output. It ain't had nothing to do with AJ Brown not being there. But we conveniently omit that. So people got to watch tape, and they don't do it. And it's easy to figure it out these days.
And also, they spent a lot of time under center in that game. Play action.
Yes.
Constantly keeping that Giants defense on their heels. They were not able to get their footing to the point where Eagles even used some RPO on that Dallas Goedert touchdown. Like to the point where even the commentators were like, "Whoa!" like because they saw what it did to. They saw a sky view of what that RPO, what that pull or keep did to that Giants defense.
Right.
And Dallas Goedert was wide open over the top, wide open, and all Hurts had to do was just lay it in there to him. So, look, this Eagles team did a lot of different things in this game. And I can argue that it would have happened the same way if AJ Brown was there. As a matter of fact, one could argue they probably would have got done worse if AJ Brown was playing. So,
look, and let's not forget the games that we lost. The games that we lost, even though the Broncos game, Jalen had 280, and then the Giants game he had 283, and in both those games that we lost, Jalen missed on some long throws that should have been touchdowns.
That's a good point.
So How did I don't understand that. But they want to run with that narrative. It's always some type of drama they trying to stir up in Philly. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like I'm sitting watching it in real time.
Mhm.
Like Cowherd said something. Then I saw one of the dudes. I can't remember what the show is, but one of the ex-players, he got his podcast. He says the same thing. So I'm like, okay, everybody's feeding off. They find the biggest fish. Whatever the biggest fish says, we gonna just co-sign what they say. That's all they doing. And I'm like, if you watch the tape, you know that's not true. And for the people, again, for the people in Philadelphia on WIP and 97.5 running with that rhetoric, I'm like, y'all must be crazy.
So what do you say to the people who say, well, he's giving it to us to talk about, so we have to talk about it?
And that's fine. But there is a very wide gap. It ain't a thin line. It's a very wide gap between something a player does that annoys you and somebody that's being disruptive in the locker room and somebody that's dividing a locker room or costing your team wins. That is when you get rid of somebody.
Right.
You don't get rid of somebody that's great in the locker room, that's a good captain, that's productive on the field. And then when the quarterback is not up to snuff, or if some things get messed up, if the play calling ain't right, everybody gets blown out of proportion because he speaks on it. Ain't that what captain's supposed to do?
You know, it's interesting because Seth Joyner said something on WIP that really stuck out to me. He said there's two people you don't mess with in the organization. That's the head coach and the quarterback, the franchise quarterback. And he said, trust me, AJ Brown not going anywhere.
I agree.
And if he was to go somewhere, that would mean Hurts and Sirianni are fed up.
Correct.
And Jalen Hurts doesn't strike me as the kind of person to cut his nose to spite his face. He strikes me as the kind of person who's been managing personalities for a long time, coming from the school of Saban and, you know, going to Oklahoma as well. He's been battle tested, right? He's dealt with to be able to win with a team like this and manage a team like this as the quarterback is damn near a third of the job. He plays with a lot of talented dudes, a lot of guys who are blue chip guys, a lot of guys who won a lot on every level in their life, a lot of guys who play with pride and ego. And for as talented as the team is, and for them to have gone through some of the things they have gone through, I would take these issues the Eagles have been dealing with over any potential issues that a team can offer you that has a lot of personalities on it. Again, this team, like Seth Joyner said, you don't mess with the quarterback, you don't mess with the head coach. Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni clearly understand and know how their bread is buttered.
Correct.
They clearly also understand the player. That's why every time Hurts is asked about it, if you notice, he kind of just like, you know, we just do everything as a team. We deal with everything. Just because he's giving you the non-answer doesn't mean he doesn't have an answer for those situations. You get what I'm saying?
And you know what?
I'm sure he knows exactly what he's dealing with AJ Brown. And he's completely
absolutely. They've been friends forever. And that, to me, that's the other thing. Because nobody sees them walking out arm in arm, like, what's up, my dude? And because they don't see that action in a relationship, they automatically assume, well, something must go wrong or something must be, you know, going up. And then they want to throw in everything that happened last year with BG and all of that type of, you don't know what happened with that.
Yeah. And they use that as a way to
exactly
validate or substantiate claims that there's friction between them. And look, BG's saying that, but BG saying what he said didn't help the situation, obviously, because it kind of let people in behind the veil. And
let's be real, BG didn't have to apologize.
Yeah.
What you apologizing for?
I just think everybody understands exactly what's required. And I think everybody also understands who each other is. And overall,
the problem is those people are not the ones starting the shit. You are 100% right. They grown men in that locker room. Everybody else is high school. I forget what is it? Is that Joe Giglio? What the dude is on with Ike? Nah, not Ike, but with Hugh.
Yeah, he was on with
that day. I don't know if it was the first or the second tweet that AJ did. And if he said annoyed, He must have said it 300 times. And I was like, so what did you annoy? He still showed up, still get on the field, and still put it down on the field. And but I guess my problem is if you look at everywhere else around the league, everybody co-signed the sentiment. Joe Flacco, he don't even know the offense. Tell you what you do. You throw to Jamar Chase. Find them on the field if they in man coverage, throw the ball. Period. Figure out the rest later. And what did he do? If they're struggling with the Vikings, what do you do? Get the ball to Justin Jefferson. If you don't do nothing else, do that. Everybody else in the league co-signs the same sentiment. So why is it all of a sudden we got a problem with AJ says it? And he ain't even really said it.
Right. That's another thing,
really
too.
Came out and said
he ain't really like, that's the thing. I say to myself, I'm like, all right, if okay, there's some people who are just not into the social media gimmicks.
Right.
I'm not into it either. So
thank you for the super chat, Shep.
Yeah, thank you, Shep. There's some people who are just not into the whole social media gimmicks, right? You got a lot of old school football fans. You got a lot of older people who are on social media and they don't understand it. So their opinions are always so strong about how AJ conducts himself on social media, right? When in reality, what AJ Brown does on social media is really not the worst thing on social media. Nonetheless,
even close.
Nonetheless, you have people who say that he's a distraction or whatever it may be. You know damn well losing AJ Brown completely changes your Super Bowl outlook. And to have the idea that he's that replaceable at this point in the season, where there's a lot of teams in the league looking for a guy like AJ Brown. AJ Brown is the kind of guy that can just shift the culture of your do people understand what AJ Brown did when he got traded here? Like how he completely shifted the narrative when he got traded here, and he's been productive every single year.
I think people forget what we had. People forget Devontae Smith is good. 700 yards as a rookie, most yards for a rookie receiver.
Yeah, he had 900 and some change.
Was it 900?
Yeah, 900.
Yeah. But what was everybody seeing? We need a compliment because what's going to happen when everybody locks him down? Who's going to be the number 2? Here comes AJ Brown.
Yeah, they find AJ Brown, which was crazy.
And I don't even understand why they're saying like, hey, they're not going to trade him on the deadline, but in the offseason, I can see it happen. Why? Why would you want to trade him?
That dead cap hit would be ridiculous.
Yeah, but even I guess my question is this: even if they could, at the end of the day, if you want to do something bad enough, you'll find a way to do it.
Right.
So let's just say how we could find a way to trade him. Why would you do that? You got a bird in the hand. You're gonna get some draft picks. So you're gonna get 2 or 3 more maybes at whatever position you tend to fill. You get a second round pick, you get an edge, you get another receiver, you get this position or that position. It don't matter. That is a question mark. You don't know what you're gonna get, and there's more misses than hits when it comes to the draft.
Absolutely, like you saw a perfect example. Titans thought they could replace AJ Brown with Treylon Burks. And he did nothing, right?
But get somebody fired.
You know, there's people who still said the jury's out on Marvin Harrison Jr., right?
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
They thought he was a slam dunk.
You know, I don't care what anyone says, the jury's still out on Tip McMillan. He's talented. You know, he has traits, but he has to prove it.
Bruh, look at Cam Ward.
You know, it's not easy to find guys like that. So, and again, like, you know, someone here wrote, I think Steph, he says he's not happy.
Says who? Who?
How do we?
Who said he's not happy?
I know this may sound like this may sound almost disingenuous, but how do you know that?
Hey,
like people don't know. Like you don't know that,
bro. I'm gonna tell you an old school story.
You just don't know that.
We going back to the 80s, bro. We going back to the 80s.
And again, remember, it's a lot of old heads that watch the game, that's fans of the sport, that don't like the social media stuff to begin with. So when they see it in any capacity, they have strong opinions about it. We got to keep that in mind too.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
If man, I wish Barrett was here so I could tell this story. But back when I was living in St. Louis, my dad had me and my twin and my older sister. We ran track. We ran with the Royal Knights out of St. Louis, Missouri. Barrett he'll know what I'm talking about. But you get with people you don't know, right? So I remember this specific situation. One of my teammates, his dad was one of our coaches. And we ran in some track meet. We had to be there early. So the dad came over and was like, "You hungry?" And the dude just kind of nodded. And the dad pulled out like $5 and he's like, "Go ahead, get yourself something to eat. What time you got to run?" Started questioning him, all that kind of stuff. And I remember this very vividly. When his dad left, I looked at him and said, is he mad at you? And he was like, "No." He was like, "That's just the way he talked." But to me, I don't have that relationship with him. So he came off kind of aggressive, and to me, it looked like he was angry or something like that. And he was like, "Nah, he was cool with it." And I say that because everybody can only go by their own experiences. You don't know what AJ Brown has been through. You don't know what his day-to-day is like. You don't know what his normal demeanor is. Somebody said it before in the chat talking about his mental health stuff. And I've said that plenty of times. When you have somebody that's gone through the things that he has gone through, he has to deal with the things that he deals with in a specific way because it works for him. Period. Stop it right there. And we fans have a bad habit of saying, "Well, why didn't you do this? You should have did that. If it was me, it wasn't." And the reason why they're not doing it like you would do it, because they are them and you are you. When you find yourself in that situation, then you work it how you want to work it. And people got a bad habit of doing that. Stop projecting your personality on other people, especially somebody who is elite at what he is doing. Can't do that. But everybody want to project, and I want it my way, and he annoys me. And I'm like, I'll sure be glad when you get your team and we can see how good they are and how good of a GM you would be. Like, I love what's the girl, Ursay's daughter?
Oh, yeah.
The Colts. I love what she's doing. You know what she's doing? She is letting you know, I know what I don't know. So I'm going to be on the sideline, keep my mouth shut, keep the headphones on, and take notes. Meanwhile, most of the guys in the same situation, you still trying to put the bike together by looking at the box. You don't want to read the instructions. So what's the over and under next year of the number of GMs that's going to be on the sideline taking notes with the headphones on? She going to start a trend.
I mean, I respect it in general.
Absolutely.
You know, and then, you watch your father build that brick by brick. You think about what Jeffrey Lurie's built brick by brick. Jeffrey Lurie came in this thing eyes wide open, and learned a lot from Andy Reid, as far as how to build a roster. Howard Roseman, same thing. So, that's why, like, when I think about where the Eagles have come from and how they've been able to build this team to as we see it today, and the eras we've experienced, let's be honest about this. Like, the Eagles haven't had a consistent quarterback, and the most consistent quarterback the Eagles have had has been of this century has been Donovan McNabb and Jalen Hurts. That's the most. Those two names are the fixtures. Those two names are the fixtures at quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles in the 21st century. Carson Wentz was on and off the field, wasn't here long enough.
Carson Wentz would have been great if he could have stayed healthy. And you saw he just got hurt again. He's out for the season.
Yeah, he's done for the year.
But people
Vic wasn't here. Vic wasn't here that long.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just so that's why when I think about the bricks that laid it, right? AJ Brown is one of those bricks.
Absolutely.
And he is super instrumental in what the Eagles do to be successful. He's a part of this larger machine here. So Franklin Saint said it best. I don't know if you're familiar with Snowfall, but like Franklin Saint said it best. He said, "I built this thing brick by brick, and I'll be damned if I let you tear it down because you don't like the way another man talk."
I didn't watch the show, but I know that scene. I know exactly what you're talking
about. I'll be damned if y'all complaining about AJ Brown posts. I'll be damned if I tear this thing down because y'all don't like the way he talk. I'll be damned.
I'll be damned. Why? Why? When we have with the history in this city, you ain't got to go no further than TO. With our history with diva behavior in this city, are you kidding me? And then you got somebody like that ain't really saying much because he put a couple posts and like everybody crashing out. Like, I'm disappointed in Philly. Like, I thought y'all was made of sterner stuff. I thought your skin was a little bit thicker than that.
As much as that's what I'm saying. Like the whole all of it is a facade, man. Like all that tough Tony stuff. At the end of the day, man, people are. You know what I think? You know what I think for real? I think most of these fans are either fair weather or insecure. And here's what I mean by insecure. Fair weather.
I'll go with insecure,
but I'll say insecure. They are experiencing unrealized success. They are in uncharted waters as a Philadelphia Eagles fan right now.
Right.
And they see everything it took to get here. And when you finally get there, you get a little sensitive about staying there and making sure nothing upsets the apple cart, making sure nothing upsets the overall aura and foundation of the team. They're so sensitive about it. People are insecure about anybody potentially messing this thing up. And right now, the Eagles are 2-time Super Bowl champions. Within the past 7 years, the most success the Eagles have ever experienced have occurred in the last 7 to 8 years. And people are nervous about losing it for any circumstance. So they're willing to move on from anybody they deem as a threat to that success.
Right.
Even the most minor threat, the most minor infraction. Oh, no, if he's a liability, get him out. One band, one sound. And it's like, hold on, wait. Every Super Bowl champion, every dynasty has its, his kooks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Every team has the guys you got to reel in. Every team.
And I'm trying to figure out where are all these other teams that have it all together? Where they at? You got problems in Buffalo. You got problems in Baltimore. You got problems in San Fran, Kansas City, San Diego, San Francisco. You name a team. Who's on top of the pack right now? We're on top of the NFC East, but guess what? It's not guaranteed because we just had one game where we finally put everything together. Can we do it again? Let's see what happens after the break. Can we do it again? Can we rattle off 2 and 3 wins and then our offense, defense, and special teams, everybody's clicking? When we get to that point, then can Jalen Hurts rattle off 2 or 3 more 250, 270, 300-yard games? If he can do that, then I'll entertain the MVP thoughts.
Yeah, and also, I think Jalen Hurts already is a guy who's operating like an MVP, and I'm talking about just beyond just the field, right? Again, thinking about all it's required to manage a machine that is the Philadelphia Eagles, to manage this city and handle all the expectations that come with quarterback in here, to deliver the way he has, right? To manage all these different talents on a team. A lot of guys can't handle playing with this much talent. They get overwhelmed.
Right.
They crumble under the pressure. You know what I'm saying? You see talented quarterbacks all the time that got the roster. As soon as they get to the big dance, they get a little funny.
It's exactly. The money look a little bit funny. The math ain't math.
So, again, and I think your camera froze again, Marcus. But
are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Barrett just walked in here too.
It's okay. What you can do is bring him up, bring us two screen, make us two screen, and then at that point, we can you can get everything sorted out on your end.
Go.
All right. My guy B Brooks. How you feeling, big dog? Oh, I got you. You muted, my man.
Yeah. There we go.
There we go. B Brooks, man. Long time no see. How the family, man? Talk to me.
Good, man. Good. Everything is good. And can't complain. The Birds back on track. Plenty to talk about, going into the bye. We'll see what's going on, man.
Absolutely. So, I mean, while Marcus gets everything sorted out on his end, let's kind of set the table a little bit. We've kind of been briefly discussing the AJ Brown situation, and I'm curious what's your perspective on it, because some people say, listen, man, your problems could be much worse, right? All he doing is doing a little posting here and there. You got some people saying, nah, man, like, I just don't like it. It's a distraction. Where do you fall on the spectrum of the AJ Brown saga?
I don't understand how a post has got everybody, you know, up in arms. You know, everybody's panties in a bunch right now. To me, it just doesn't make sense. I don't care if he wants to leave. I don't care if he's not happy. He's a part of this squad. He's gonna do his job. He's making over $30 million a year. He's gonna be at work and he can be ready to rock and roll. He's just got to understand, you know, that at the end of the day, you know, he's a gifted, talented player. We know this. But I just how AJ works his stuff out. He works his stuff out different than most people. But he has enough cachet that he can do it this way. That's all. I've dealt and I've played with players, you know, with you know more you know, more than what he's doing. All he's doing is just sending a tweet or whatever. I mean, to me, that means nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at the end of the day, he's gonna be there on Sunday. He's gonna play. We cannot afford to let him. Period. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying this last game was an anomaly. They played well, but you need his type of play to get you to the Super Bowl. Period. Point blank. I mean, that's it at the end of the day. So I really don't care about him tweeting. I really don't care about him not being satisfied with, you know, what his numbers are. At the end of the day, we're 6-2. And I believe he truly feels the same way. He's 6-2. Okay, he voices his opinion on Twitter, on social media. So what? He could be saying it to the news, you know what I'm saying? Saying it to people. He can do it that way also. At the end of the day, he has to be a player for the Philadelphia Eagles. He has to bring that work, and he's that dynamic of a player. He's a top 3 receiver in the NFL. We cannot let him go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do whatever you got to do, appease him, or you ain't even got to appease him. As long as he's dressing on Sunday and balling on Sunday, it makes me know never mind.
And that's the thing, right? He's under contract. That dead cap hit would be astronomical. You know the Eagles aren't trying to take that on. They got a lot of people they're trying to pay, so they can't really afford to waste any dollars right now.
Year, bro. 16 this year, and next year would be 40.
See what I'm saying? Like that penalty for trading him would set you back a couple seasons with some guys, right? So that's why a guy that talented, they're not easily replaceable. We saw Tennessee try to replace AJ Brown with Traylon Burks. I don't even think he's on the roster anymore. Right. When you got a guy like AJ Brown in the building, and I think Seth Jordan said this on WIP. I think it was today or yesterday. He said, "Look, there's 2 people in the building that you don't mess with. It's the quarterback and the head coach. And as long as Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts can manage AJ Brown, he's gonna be on this team. And I think above all else, you have the perfect quarterback in the building, just from an aura and mentality standpoint. That seems like he can handle. Seems like he can balance the plates in a hurricane. That's the kind of personality he's the kind of personality that you need to have when you're managing all these type of guys in the building. All these guys have egos. You played this game. When you're talented, you make it to that level. You cannot be who you are without having some ego.
Right. And that's why he's the way they are. I keep telling people all the time that most of the most gifted people in the world have the most baggage, have, you know, a lot of mental problems. The reason why they're so great, that their body and their mindset can go past what somebody that we would deem as sane would stop. And that's what makes them special. They can take it beyond the threshold of what others can do and what others won't do. They don't have a problem with it. And that's why they're so great. That's why they're in the position where they are. Even gifted musicians, and they just think a different way. So you can't, I mean, you're managing all these guys on the team. I mean, and you know, 53 players, you've got to put yourself in a position where you got to say, all right, I understand he wants to do things this way. We don't want to do these this way, but this is just what he's going to do. So like it or not, AJ can tweet all he wants to. He can get on news, say all he wants to. But as long as come Sunday, I see number 11 out there, I'm cool with it. It's not like he's not going to go out there and give max effort because he cares about the product that's on the field. He cares how he looks.
We on the same page, bro.
And that's the thing. You got a guy that has made it very clear that he dedicates himself to his body, to his craft, to his recovery. He takes this sport seriously. It's like a religion to him, right? So, and I'm so glad Marcus came in at the perfect time because, B. Brooks, I wanted to get your thoughts on this. I asked Marcus a question, and then Marcus, he can fill in the blanks, but I asked Marcus a question about Eagles fans. Are Eagles fans insecure?
Yes.
And
yeah,
I'm curious to know what your thought process is on that because Marcus said, yeah.
We are pains in the ass. We want things our way.
Yeah.
We like to go out there and govern like we paying their checks. So, and it doesn't help when talk radio likes to throw stuff against the wall and hope it sticks. At no point did the organization say that they were going to trade AJ. At no point
nobody said that.
Tripping off of him. Exactly. Ain't nobody even tripping off of him. Not even his players are tripping off of him. In fact, he might not even be the problem.
Facts.
Maybe he's the one voicing the problem, but the real problem lies somewhere else.
Ain't that what captains are supposed to do?
I don't know.
And what I was telling Tone was, out of all of them tweets, didn't everybody else come through and co-sign that he was correct?
I don't know.
Ain't it funny how he never mentioned a word about the passing game or anything, yet everybody knew what he was talking about?
I don't know.
He ain't. And my thing was, you look at all these other examples of what all of these other teams do and all of their diva problems and their issues. All these teams wish they had our issues.
Right.
They wish they had our problems.
Marcus, peep this. You both peep this. He was not the problem on the field.
No.
He's never been the problem on the field. He gives his all on the field. He gives his heart, soul, and everything on the field. So he was not the problem. So we'll just leave it like that.
Facts.
We'll leave it like that.
And everybody, and I was telling them, I saw it last night. Cowherd on his show. Philadelphia Eagles don't need AJ Brown to win the Super Bowl. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? We just went into this thing. It was like, y'all don't watch tape. The reason why we had the best offensive performance to date was because our offensive line could run block finally, and we had 2 running backs over 200 yards. So Jalen only threw for what? One was it 170?
170, 178, 179.
Right. But the week before we threw for 325.
Yeah,
right.
And he only threw the ball 3 more times, so they were still trying to get the running game involved last week. It just didn't
exactly.
It just didn't take off the way it did this week.
Exactly. But
Tone.
Everybody want to run with that narrative.
Exactly. Tone. He's not the problem. He was never the problem.
Nope.
He was probably kind of the medicine to fix what was wrong with us. Because when you look at what he brings to the table, there's a reason why, you can't double team Smitty. You can't double team him and still stop the run when they're hitting on all cylinders.
Right.
The offensive line played horrible the first 4 weeks. And they'll tell you they played horrible the first. Bro, I watched a Giants defensive line reestablish the line of scrimmage 3 yards on their side of the line of scrimmage.
In our backfield. Absolutely.
Yes. So it's not Saquon. Everybody's like, well, maybe Saquon lost a step. No, maybe the offensive line getting their butts kicked.
It was Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson, and they were both hurt.
And they were out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They were out. So we didn't have that good offensive line. So if you want to say, everybody's talking about, Steen. Steen has played very well.
Steen,
yes.
I don't think he's been bad. I really don't.
No, he hasn't. And then when you have Lane just was hurt.
Yeah.
He's finally getting healthy. Jordan Mailata finally getting together and he's working with somebody that can work with him. Like against the Giants, they ran a TE stunt that was unstoppable. I mean, unstoppable. Yep. There's nothing they could do, Oh, but
yeah, and that first matchup, you're right. In the first matchup, you kept saying Brett Toth get beat at left guard, and
there was no punch.
Yeah.
Punch. You've got to punch to stop the initial rush of the 3 technique. So then you allow Jordan Mailata to come down and hit the 3 technique, so they can then twist off and get Burns in the inside. Well, he was turning like a brick. He had opened the gate up so that he couldn't block anybody. I mean, you have Jordan Mailata sitting there. He couldn't touch anybody because Brett Turf got beat up the field so fast.
Yep,
absolutely. You know, and Toth is coming off of. I never thought I'd say this. Coming off his best game of the season. I mean,
yeah, I'm giving him flowers.
You know, definitely I gave him his flowers. You know, the first, and there were 3 offensive line penalties in that first quarter, but after that they kind of settled in. And I mean, Toth, he's way better at center than he is left guard. It's not even a question.
Absolutely. Was he a center at Army?
No, he was a tackle, but he became a Swiss Army knife. He's been here 7 years.
Right.
I thought he had pictures of somebody in the organization because I didn't think he was good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, why is this guy still here? Because I got to give it to him. He only passed the ball during his entire Army career. I think he said when he was playing there, he only passed the ball with 11 to 19 times.
Army don't throw
I told you.
So he did not know how to pass block. So once again, he was one of Stoutland University's finest. And he just couldn't play the guard position. They whooped his tail at guard position. But this last game at center,
he was
the
solid.
same thing here. Exactly. The same way I turn around and I say, look, I was killing him because I was telling the truth. Well, I wouldn't kill him. I was telling the truth of what was going on. I got to do the same thing and give him his flowers because he balled his butt off. Even when they got out on the edge, when they blocked down and pulled him around, he was out on the edge. He showed great ability to go out there and block on the outside. He called the defense. He called out the mic. He set the protections, and that was never a problem for him because he's one of the smartest guys on the team. That was never the problem. Physically, he just wasn't physical enough to play that guard position because when you're playing guard, it's like you're in a phone booth. Everything happens right then and there, and you gotta hold it down because that's the quickest way to the quarterback.
Yeah.
So he
don't look like he got the quickest feet either.
Right. So he center position. He knew how to use his help. Right. He called his help, made sure those guys helped him, and balled out, man. So I got to give him his foul. He played. In fact, he played better than any of the him and Steen played better than any of the offensive linemen that game. He balled out.
Yeah. They were some of the
now, not for nothing else. If something else happens to Juergens, now we know we got a solid backup.
Well, he still had a solid backup from the kid from from Boston. Was it Boston College?
You talking about Drew Kendall? I like him.
Yeah, Kendall can play, man. Kendall can
Plus,
play.
We still got the kid from the Rams, the short dude from the Rams.
Yeah, he's on the practice squad. Absolutely.
Lampkin. Yeah.
So we got options, and the one thing I thought of, we were going to find out: do we have true backups, or do we just got a guy?
We just had a guy at first. It was just Fred.
Yeah.
And then I thought Toph was just a whipping boy, but he showed me some of this last game. He's a better center than anything.
He did because when I saw Toth in there after his past this year, the first thing I thought of was Caliendo in the Super Bowl.
Let me ask you guys a question, right? Marcus, you played running back. B. Brooks, you played offensive lineman. Both of you guys played on a high level. Take me into the world of that running back offensive line relationship, right? You know, when you're dealing with injuries anywhere on the offensive line, or you know, when you're trying to figure out where guys fit on this chessboard, right? Like, for example, Matt Pryor, when we first saw him on the field, they put him at right tackle. He was getting beat so bad they had to take him out, put Fred Johnson in. They were reminded Fred Johnson is their legit swing tackle. Then Landon Dickerson, you put Toth at left guard, he's getting beat, but you put him at center. All of a sudden, you're figuring out, okay, he's our backup center, right? Kind of take me through the evolution that the running game and just the blocking as a whole goes through over the course of a season as roles are being defined.
Well, as far as running backs, it's a lot of timing. You got to know who hits the hole, who's got the best hips, who's got the best feet. If you got a pulling guard, is that pulling guard? Does he do a good job of getting up into the hole, getting to the next level, getting his hands on people? I've seen our offensive line, they get hands on people, but they can't wheel their hips around. And, you know, Barrett, you can speak to this more than me, but I was always taught the offensive line, you get your butt between the ball carrier and your man. And it's up to the ball carrier. I'm looking for my offensive line's backs. I make the cut off his back. If I can see his back numbers, There's my exit strategy. That's the hole I'm trying to go through. So the timing is, because I've been in a situation, you come to a new place, you hit the hole too fast, you might beat your block through the hole. And you get your head blowed off. So you got to get your timing. That's why I like under center so much. Because when Jalen sticks that ball out, linebackers see ball, get ball, you create space, you stretch people out, it sets up the offensive lineman's block, and it makes your job easier.
And I mean, like it or not, there's not a lot of guys getting blown off the ball, you know what I'm saying, in the trenches. You know, that's a fallacy we got kind of a little bit too enamored with last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those guys played at an all-star level last year. So you're just not blowing people off the ball like we saw last year. There'll be times, you know what I'm saying, where I had Charlie going. Charlie used to tell me, hey, bro,
yeah,
I need you to blow him off the ball. All I need is 2 inches. I'll do the rest. And 2 inches with all he need, he could get through a phone booth. That's how quick he was and how he set things up. He said all the time, you're not gonna blow anybody off the ball. You just got to make sure you between him and the defender. You know what I'm saying? That's all you got to be. But you know, I think it has a lot to do with, like, everybody's on Saquon. Oh, he lost a step. No,
he didn't.
Penetration kills all run plays.
Yes.
And the defensive line were just deboing our offensive line and pressing them back 3 yards into the backfield. So as soon as he got the ball, even in shotgun, he was making a move to either make a miss or he was getting tackled immediately as soon as he got the ball. So you can't do anything as a running back when that happens. So
not when you're trying to shake just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Just watch the film. There was no daylight anywhere.
But these guys have played together for
getting crushed and pushed back.
These guys have played together for a long time. The only new face really is Steen.
I can't hear you, bro.
Testing, you guys got me?
Maybe it's my internet.
Yeah, I can hear you still.
So yeah, I think I guess for me, just as a spectator, right, and as a layman, I'm like, all I know is that these guys have played together for a long time, right? These guys are Pro Bowlers and all pros in their own right. Tyler Steen is not technically a new face. He's been here for the past 3 years, just training with these guys. It seems like
I can't hear anything.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We can hear you.
I can't hear anything right now.
Have him log back in. But yeah, where's my place? I guess now.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We can hear you fine, but you can't hear us.
But yeah, like, basically what I'm trying to say is just the fact that timing, right? I know you mentioned timing a lot. These guys aren't new to each other, in my humble opinion. I don't think so when I see these guys struggling the way they did, it kind of throws me off a bit. Kind of throws me off. I can't lie. Hey, you guys, sorry about that. We're just trying to figure out some technical difficulties with our guy B Brooks. B Brooks, you got us?
He still says he still can't hear us though. It has been a night of tech problems, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
There we go. I can hear now.
All right, there we go. Got us.
Somebody just
all right, cool. No.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I couldn't hear anything.
No, you're good. You're good. But
we good.
Basically what I was trying to get to, B Brooks, is the fact that, I'm between you and Marcus' statements, I'm hearing timing, I'm hearing execution. I'm hearing about things that I never thought would be an issue for the Philadelphia Eagles, right? And you guys just open my eye to something. Like you said, guys don't really get blown at the ball like that. You just got to make sure you're in between them and your guy. So for an offensive line that has been playing together for quite a few years now, they've been to the highest heights together. Steen has been here for the past 3 or 4 seasons, I think. I mean, he's a guy that's been developing. So he's played with guys. He's gotten quality reps. It throws me off when I hear, a lack of execution or not being on schedule or not being on time from this offensive line. Again, that Sunday game against the Giants was their best game by far. It kind of like throws me off a bit when I hear these guys who have so much experience together saying, "Yeah, we're just not on the same page."
Can I take this to Marcus?
Yeah, please go, please.
It had everything to do with mindset.
Yeah,
It had everything to do with, all right, it's not a Super Bowl hangover. but it is how teams view the Eagles going into games. I don't know if they were thinking that, you know what I'm saying, all right, we're the Super Bowl champs and you're supposed to bow down. Well, nobody's going to bow down to the Super Bowl champs. They got to realize they're playing in 17 Super Bowls because everybody marked them on the calendar. They circled them. If you beat an Eagles team, it gives you affirmation amongst the rest of the league. You look at what happened with the Denver Broncos. They got the affirmation being now they're a contending team because they beat the Eagles.
Right.
Everybody thought the Giants, you know, with this new look of Scatterboo and you know, those guys that they were, you know, contender. Well, they were going to be good, and they're farther on track just because of the quarterback situation and everything. No, you're going to get everybody's best. So once they realize, all right, the Giants kicked our ass up front.
That was the one.
Yeah.
Once they saw that film and had that 10-day bye.
That did it.
Like, yo, we got to get it together.
Because that film session could not have been very nice.
Oh, come on, man. I mean, I watched them getting driven back. I mean, the offensive line was getting driven back into Hurts's lap, into Saquon's lap. I mean, Saquon, as soon as he got the ball, he was spinning and trying to, get away from a defender that was right in his face. They were
damn near getting the handoff a couple times.
Right.
They disrupted a touchdown. Jalen Hurts had a touchdown that he couldn't get the ball off to.
To AJ, yeah, exactly. So it was a mindset. Okay, then we're the big dogs on campus. We're not playing like it. We're a bunch of puppies right now. We've got to go out and show how good we are. We've got to go out there and impose our will on this team. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
They went out there with a different mindset, talking about we're going to whoop y'all ass this time.
Because up until that first game, we had not shown that. We were not we were defending Super Bowl champions, but we wasn't that good.
No.
But we can just go out with, up until this last game. That was the first game where we dominated on all three faces.
Right.
Because Tone knows, I call our offense, we were bipolar.
Dog. Literally.
I cut out again. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but your camera stopped moving. But a tale of two halves, a continuous tale of two halves for this Eagles team, and they finally were able to put it together. I think we're going to look at these past two games, that Vikings and that Giants game, as key moments in the season where they turned the corner, and they're hitting their stride right as they approach the bye. Right. So let me ask you this, B. Brooks. You've experienced bye weeks early in the season, midway through the season, late in the season. Walk me through what this bye week looks like for the Philadelphia Eagles. If you're Nick Sirianni, what's the message you're sending to the guys going into this current bye week? You're 6-2. The first 4 weeks went how it went. Then you had that 2-game losing streak. Then you find your offense again on this most recent 2-game winning streak. What's your message to the team? How are you approaching this bye week if you're Nick Sirianni and the Eagles?
Well, first off, them boys got to get some time off. It's in their collective bargaining agreement that they have to take this week off. But when they do come back, well, let me rephrase that. Jalen probably started yesterday watching him,
probably
diagnosing himself, figuring out what was wrong, what was right, how he can fix this, how he can help this player over here, what can he do to excel, how can I be the best version of myself I can be. That's Jalen's whole frame of mind. That's what he's thinking. It's almost like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man. I mean, if I had a quarterback like that, bro, I don't know if I could be friends with him, man, because he is all about ball. All about ball. You know what I'm saying? So you got to respect that. So he's nose deep into watching film and breaking down film and getting with coaches and getting his offense going, because that's another thing, they finally got the offensive coordinator finally figured out what he needs to do. You can't run the same plays you ran last year. They're gonna stop that. So what do? They come out with different formation. They come out with different personnel packages. This new personnel package, I call it Rhino. When I played, I was Rhino. I was that goal line tight end. Because I didn't start, so I was a goal line tight end. They're running goal line. They're running Rhino for personnel package, which is one running back, one tight end, one offensive lineman is playing a tight end. And then they have the regular, they have the, a wide receiver,
Is that where Fred Johnson comes in?
Yeah. So they scored a touchdown on that last week, against the Vikings. Smitty. They got the one-on-one because what they did was the Vikings brought the safety down. They brought down Harrison Smith inside the box,
right?
Which made it one-on-one. They outside with Smitty against Rodgers. And you can't cover Smitty one-on-one by himself and not think they're going to take advantage of it. And when you put that formation in, it makes it a solid formation. Solid meaning you got extra blockers. Right. Usually, this offensive line is 5 against the world. No matter how many people they got on the line, it's 5 against the world. But when you run play action, it's like a solid protection. It makes everybody come off the ball and they play more aggressively. But it also leaves extra blockers in, like Saquon will be in. The tight end will also block. So now you have 6 or 7 blockers to help, block whatever they bring in.
Right.
So this game, the Giants were like, all right, we're not going to bring that safety down because you're not going to put us man on man with our DBs on the outside because they suck. We're going to make sure we stay in too deep. Well, then you can't stop the run. And that's exactly what happened. The second play of the game, they bring in Rhino. It's a 65-yard touchdown because they don't have enough to blockers, and then the offensive line finally got a hat on the hat, stayed on their blocks, and were driving people off the ball and getting to the second level. It turns to a 65-yard touchdown. So, the offensive coordinator is now starting to see, all right, this is what I got to do. KP is that, he's got to make sure that he's on time doing all the stuff he's doing too. So he's made himself a great play caller in a matter of 2 weeks just by changing things up a little bit. So he's done a good job with that.
Yeah, for sure. These last 2 weeks have definitely been a big for Jalen Hurts, Kevin Patullo, the entire team. I mean, let's be honest. They needed to rediscover who they were while still trying to evolve into what they're going to be. And seeing Jalen Hurts under center more with the play action, you just saw how dangerous that Eagles team is and can be when they're really utilizing the full gamut of their skill set. Let me shift gears. Let me shift gears a little bit with you because Jalen Hurts has been super productive, whether people want to give him his flowers or not. I mean, over the past 8 weeks, Jalen Hurts has accounted for over 1,800 total yards, 20 total touchdowns, and has only turned the ball over twice, 1 interception and 1 forced fumble and 1 fumble loss. But just to get more specific with the numbers, he's completing over 70% of his passes. He's thrown for almost 1,700 passing yards. He's averaging close to 8 yards an attempt, 15 passing touchdowns, 1 interception, and 114.1 passer rating. Has a perfect passer rating on the resume so far this season. Has 5 rushing touchdowns on top of that. I mean, how are you evaluating Jalen Hurts this season? I think he's currently on pace for a career year. We may see it in yards and touchdowns, but last year he had 18 touchdowns, 18 passing on the season. This year he already has 15 passing on the season. Just break down your perspective on Jalen Hurts' production and how he's been able to will his team to victories.
You just look at him. Look at how he's playing. Look how he looks in the pocket. He's not playing frenetically. He's playing within who he is. When he drops back, he doesn't have, his eyes are still looking down the field. Usually, if you look at the quarterback last week, what's his name? Dart. Dart was playing frenetically. His feet were moving around. He didn't have a chance to really, set his feet and throw passes. He was running around trying to, save his life.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts is moving in the pocket, got his hands, his eyes are down the field. He's reading the defenses. He's doing everything from a schematic level that's what you're supposed to do. He's getting to his second or third read. He's calling guys, he's making guys move. The touchdown to AJ last week. He told him, go, 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 and threw a pass, throw a touchdown pass to him. He's playing at an elite level. He's playing like an MVP level, and his numbers are showing it right now. His numbers are showing it. He has command on the offense that he wants to run, and it's showing up and it's working for him. I know a lot of people say, well, he don't want to come under center, but he saw how it affected what the Vikings were doing. He saw how it affected with the Giants, and he's gonna be on board now. All right, this is gonna help us win. Let me go ahead and do this also.
Yeah, and that stuff is gonna help his play action too. It's gonna make everything work better.
Yeah, and I mean, on top of that, and Marcus, you can jump right in on this topic right here. The fact that, listen, when it comes to the blitz, I'm sorry, that can't be the way to be Jalen Hurts anymore because people who still try to say, well, if he throws the ball over 30 times, you don't win. He's won more games than he's lost throwing more than 30 times. Oh, well, if you blitz him, that that's the way to crack the Jalen Hurts code. Well, he's had to face Spags again this year. He dealt with Brian Flores. He dealt with Ty Bowles. And he did a pretty good job handling those blitzes in key situations. On the season, though, in 2025, Jalen Hurts has 125 dropbacks against the blitz. That's second most. He has a 71.2 completion percentage. That's fourth highest against the blitz. He has 879 passing yards, which is second most against the blitz. 10 passing touchdowns, second most against the blitz. Only one interception, which is the second fewest against the blitz. 7 big-time throws against the blitz, which is ranked second in the league. And a 124.6 passer rating, which is the fourth highest when facing the blitz.
And only one pick on the year.
Again, one pick. So, what's your? How do you feel about these narratives that surround Jalen Hurts? Because I heard Ray Diddy say, maybe he'll never get the respect.
He won't. In my opinion, he won't. Lost your sound again?
Yeah, I think B-Brooks lost his sound again.
Yeah.
But it's one of those situations where, will he get the respect, Marcus?
I don't think he will, unless he gets to a situation where he's throwing 300 yards a game for 3 and 4 yards at a crack. Or like I told you before, when he cracks that 4,000 yard mark. That's the only way they're going to give it to him, because they don't care about winning.
Marcus, to me, I don't care. He doesn't care. All Jalen worries about is winning.
That's it.
He's been ostracized his entire career from high school to college to the NFL. Everybody's told him what he can't do, and he's proven that he can. He's a Super Bowl winning champion. He's a Super Bowl MVP. He's led his teams to more wins than he's like. His winning percentage is crazy, like 70%. He's put himself in a position where he's one of the all-time greats. He keeps playing like he's playing at this level he's playing it right now, and he keeps playing like this. He could wear a gold jacket. And
Absolutely.
He's not flashy. He's not flashy.
Absolutely.
He doesn't go out there with just enormous numbers. He goes out there and just plays his game, and his game is to win. He's not worrying about throwing for 350 yards. He doesn't care about going out there and throwing a bunch of touchdown passes. As long as they have 1 point more than the opponent, that's all he cares about.
Too much, not enough.
To be great. He wants to play great. He wants to make sure everybody sees him and gives that credit. But if they don't, he's more than willing to look at his win-loss record and say, all right, I did it this way.
Facts. And everybody still wants the optics. If Trevor Lawrence had Jalen Hurts' career right now, they would already be putting him in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, there's no question about that. No question about that.
But we don't need to get into the ists and the isms for you to understand what it is. He's winning his way, but everybody when Jalen Hurts wins the way he wins, they wish he could throw the ball better.
I say it all the time. If he was the first round pick, they'd be waxing supporting about him if he's the first round pick.
When Josh Allen wins exactly like Jalen Hurts does, he's gutsy. He found a way to get it done.
Well, look at this. Hey, St. Louis in the crib. What's up, crib? There we go.
Yeah,
St. Louis. But hey, look at this though. You look at
Creve Court.
There you go. There you go. I'm from
Royal Knights in the building, y'all.
Kinlaw. But hey, when you look at Jalen and how he goes about his business, he's done it before, and he's gonna keep doing it just because he works so daggone hard. And I look at his career now, and I'm starting to see some similarities in Five. Five got to a point where he stopped running and started being a drop back quarterback.
I remember that.
Oh, how much Lane got to think? Lane's balling, still having he's getting healthy. He's starting to get healthier and healthier. And he's at this point going to be that dude. You know what I'm saying? He's getting back to being one of the most dominant tackles in the league. You saw what he was doing this last game. He just wasn't healthy at the beginning of the year. And because he wasn't healthy, that's why he didn't play as well as he was playing. Oh, he from Florissant? Yeah, I went to school in Florissant. I went to McClure North. I was in that DSEG program. They busted us all the way from Kinlock to Florida.
Yeah. I was in we lived in Creve Coeur. My sister went to Parkway North.
Okay.
Me and my twin were at Parkway East. And our 7th grade year was the first year of the desegregation program.
See, I was in that, bro. They sent us to I had an hour ride to school every day, an hour ride back.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
My dad had us took us into the city and we ran track for the Royal Knights.
The Royal Knights, bro.
Yes,
they were
sir.
real though.
We
They had a
were
good
real.
football team too.
Yeah. I didn't know about the football team. I just knew the track team was no joke.
No joke. They would. I had a cousin, Brian Barnes. He ran track for the Knights.
Yeah.
He ran track for him. Yeah.
Good times, bro. That was good times back then.
Great time.
St. Louis in the building, baby.
Speaking of good times, right? You know, we had a lot of good times with BG. And you know what he said? He said, I ain't finished, y'all. I still got something left for y'all. And this kind of coincides with what 24 Birds asked you, B. Brooke, because he asked about Lane Johnson and how much Lane Johnson may have left in the tank. When you think about guys like Lane Johnson and you think about a guy like Brandon Graham, him coming out of retirement, and then Zadarius Smith abruptly retiring, right? Just walk me through the challenges, you know, you guys faced when you were deciding to hang it up. How hard that, how difficult it was to resist that pull from the game that you guys grew up loving. Because again, BG, if you ask him, he always felt like he had something left, but he just wanted to go out on top. But here we are. He's back. Zadarius Smith's gone. Lane Johnson,
he can still go out on top.
Left. You know what I mean? So talk to me, like walk me through that mindset of being a guy who's, hey, do I still have anything left?
He can still go out on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can still go out top. We can win a Super Bowl this year, and he can ride off in the sunset with 3 Super Bowl rings.
Absolutely.
But with me, it was kind of easy for me because I had a career-ending, not season-ending, but a career-ending injury. I ripped my quad muscle from my kneecap, from patella. You know, my whole quad muscle had rolled up. You ever seen somebody with their bicep? It rolls up. They snap it. Well, my whole quad rolled up the top of my leg, and I can remember playing this day. We're playing my last preseason game. This year after we won the Super Bowl, and I'm in the last preseason game. And the coach asked me, "Hey man, you ain't got to play, bro." I said, "No, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna give you at least a quarter because my boy Chris Kimawato, he doesn't know the plays, so I'm gonna help him with the plays." He said, "You sure?" I said, "Yeah, I'll be cool." He said, "All right." So I go out there. I play in that quarter. It's the first drive in that quarter, man, like the 5th play, bro. We have a running play, and I go up. And I hit the running back. I hit the linebacker, and I'm driving to the ground. I'm laughing. And all of a sudden, from the back, Deuce hits me from the back, bam! And my knee fell. My knee got driven into the ground and ripped it across, man. So when it first did it, it hurt like bow. I felt like I got shot. But then after that, I didn't feel it anymore. It didn't hurt anymore. So I'm sitting there on my butt, and I look up like, oh man. So I'm trying to get up. As soon as I try to get up, that muscle in my quad tightened up. Man,
like nothing you've ever experienced before.
Oh man, so I'm sitting there, man, and the doc comes out, and Dr. Bradley says, "Hey man," he said he rolls my my pants leg up, and you could see how there was no muscle there, but my skin went around my bone. You know what I mean? It was just you could tell there was no muscle there. And he said, "Oh man," he said, "Hey," and then he looked at me. He said, "Hey, you got that nursing thing with you and your wife, right? You got that nursing thing." I said, "Yeah, I got a nursing school. Yeah, what are you talking about?" "Oh, you'll be fine." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Somebody half your age, half your weight, couldn't come back from this." So that's how I knew my career was over with right then and there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right then and there. I was done.
That's the difference between when. Did you walk away from the game, or did the game spit you out?
Right. What? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, they said it was an 18-month recovery. It ended up being like a 21-month recovery.
Yeah. And then that's tough, man. And it makes me think about BG's recovery with the torn tricep. Because I'm like, okay, obviously it couldn't have been as bad. It's obviously not as bad as that. But they said he's healthy. He say he's good to go. We're going to see him against Green Bay. I mean, what are your expectations? Marcus and B. Brooks, both of you guys can let me in on this. What are you guys' expectations when it comes to BG helping his team? Because I think it only can help you. It can't hurt you.
Right.
My biggest question with BG was like, bro, are you going to be in game shape? Because gym shape and game shape is 2 totally different things.
Way different.
But when I heard that he had been at the facility working out for like a long time, and especially when I figured out that they were dealing with this before they signed Zadarius Smith. So he was on the grind for a minute.
Yeah.
But he got to get over that threshold of getting the game speed. So when the older you get, the harder it is to. It take about 4 or 5 pulls on that lawnmower before that joker get to starting. You know what I'm saying? So, but he was in the gym. He was working out with the team. He was at the right place doing the right thing. So, I at least he's gonna be on the pitch count. So I think he'll be able to come in, sure. Give you about 2-3 plays, go get a spell, then come back in. As if they keep him like that, I think he'll be fine. But if somebody go down and then he got to play like 45 snaps or something goofy like that, then we might have a problem.
For sure.
No,
for sure. So
it had to be toward the end of the career. Yeah. You know what? It had to be towards the end of the year for him to do something like that, because it can't be the same situation as last year. Last year,
right?
He was supposed to be on pitch count last year. You're like, look, he's going to be more of a specialist. He's going to be on third down, maybe first down to stop the run, and then turn on, take him out, then bring him back in to brush the passer. And but it got to a point where Vic couldn't keep him off the field. Vic said
he was playing too well. He was playing too well.
Exactly. So he had to stay on. He had to play way more than expected. Well, this year they really gonna have to keep him on the pitch count. He's not gonna be able to play. I'm thinking he can go out for 10 to 12 plays and be impact plays.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And impact situations. He's that type of player. Just like he showed up in the Rams game. Last year, the first Rams game, he won that game for us.
He was
absolutely.
That's the game he got hurt in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
absolutely.
He stopped me even on that. They tried to run that jet sweep, and he got a tackle for loss. That's the type of explosiveness he had, man. In the Super Bowl, he was tattooing them guards trying to pull. Where you think Nolan Smith got that from? Man, he was lighting them guys up, and he was putting the hurt on their right tackle. He was beating them, man. He got a holding call on him because he was beating them so fast. So he's got to be 10 to 12 at the most 15 plays a game in order for him to stay healthy and stay effective. And even 10 plays just to start him off, just to get in game shape. Because at this point, we don't even have Carter in game shape. Carter, man, he's kind of disappointed me, man, because I have such high expectations for him to just be unstoppable. I'm thinking it's his contract year. He's gonna come out like a bandit, but he has not shown up. He showed some flashes this last game. And if I didn't have the utmost confidence in him, I'd be like, oh man, but I got so much confidence that I can really say, hey man, this ain't what I expected from you. This is not a Jalen Carter that I know I've seen. This is not Jalen Carter. I've seen you demo. I've seen you take games over. I haven't seen that yet, so I'm disappointed in that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That spit gate may cost him some money.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm like, well, he can earn it. He can earn it back now.
He can definitely earn it back.
He can earn it back.
He can earn it, but you're on point, B. Brooks. The reality is it's taking him up until about that Vikings game to really get on track, because obviously he didn't play in the first Giants matchup, but that Vikings game and on these past 2 games, you've actually starting to see we're starting to see the player that we know him to be, and he still isn't, like you said, easy at that point in the year where he's cooking. We thought it'd be happening sooner, but obviously the first leg of the season, the first half of the season hasn't really been kind to the Eagles injury wise and so on and so forth. And he just didn't come in. He didn't come in as well of a shape I thought he'd be in for a guy who played 80-90% of the snaps last year. Right. Yeah. I expected more from him in that regard. But I will say this though,
because I know
Jordan Davis and Moro Ojomo, they have been tremendous in what they've been able to do, even when he's been there or hasn't been there. Moro Ojomo already has 4 sacks on the season.
Yep.
Jordan Davis has 3, a career high. Right. Last game against the Giants, all 3 of them left the game with a sack. Moro Ojomo, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. So I think the strength of this defensive line is definitely the interior. And if you're going to get the best version of BG, and if we want that pitch count to stay at 10 to 15 snaps a game, that means Jalen Hunt. All right, you got to up the ante. Nolan Smith, when you come back, you got to take it. You got to take it to another level. And these past 2 games,
they've been doing
playing. They're elevating. It seems like everybody's starting to peak at this point in the year right now.
Yep.
But don't forget, Jalen Carter was hurt too.
Yeah, that heel, right? And the shoulder, I think he's been
the heel
doing.
and the shoulder. I think the shoulder may have affected him more than the heel. But like, don't discount a heel because your push off is important when you in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
So he gonna need some of this bye week just like everybody else. So we'll see, because he has played very well. He was the cause of that interception against the Giants, or was no,
against,
the
Vikings.
Yeah, the Vikings.
The Bucks also,
and the Bucks also. Yeah, that one too.
Yeah.
Well, they got a lot of talent, man, and talent I thought was going to be, well, you are starting to see flashes of them, and we can finally stop the run. And you would think it would be a defensive lineman to stop the run. It's actually Nakobe Dean, our smallest linebacker.
Have you noticed
the run the most?
I'm trying to get Dean on the show, man.
Have you guys noticed Campbell's, like, since Nakobe's been back, Campbell's snaps have gone down?
And that's not necessarily bad,
it's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not necessarily bad. Obviously, the edge rusher depth has been lacking, so he's been moving around a bit. But Nakobe has just been so technically sound in the run defense. I mean, you can't blame him. But again, this linebacker room is the best it's looked in years.
No question. We got an all-star. Our linebacking core is crazy right now.
Solid.
Crazy.
Solid.
Campbell has been solid, but Nakobe's come back and just, man, he's everybody's always too small. I think it's the best that he's so small, because you can't get a good shot on him. It's hard to block him. It's hard to catch him. It's really hard trying to get him, man. And he reminds me a lot of a guy that played for Dallas, man. Dallas Cowboy. He was a little linebacker like that also. He was from Appalachia State. What was his name? Short linebacker, played for Dallas. Was good too. Pro Bowler. Man, I forget his name. But playing against him was the same way. I forget his name.
And Nakobe don't get enough credit.
No, he don't.
As smart as he is.
Nope, not at all.
How does a big guy?
Are you talking about Dexter Coakley?
Dexter Coakley. Now, how big was he?
Dexter Coakley, saying here, 5'10", 230.
Yeah. And short look, Nakobe's bigger than him. Yeah. But Dexter Coakley was that work. And he was a little dude, man, but he could ball his butt off, bro. Hard to block. It's hard to find him, man. And then,
play for the Cowboys and the Rams.
Yep. The hardest I ever got hit was a small linebacker. I pulled around. I'm playing against the Panthers. I pulled around the corner. As soon as I pulled around, Sam Mills met me right there in the hole. But when I say he hit me in the middle of my chest, and it seemed like my whole body wrapped around his helmet. He knocked the wind out of me.
They always had the advantage because they're small. They can get in your chest and come up through your chest strap.
Tough, man. He made me a believer, man. From that point on, my head was on a swivel, bro.
Yep,
on a swivel.
I think Nakobe done figured out, how does a little guy beat a big guy? When you beat him to the spot, you win the battle.
Yep, that's
you
exactly
beat him to the spot when you win the battle. You might not win the battle of physics, but now you in the gap. So now you at a situation where the running back can't go there. He got to go somewhere else.
Right.
So you win that battle.
Bro, y'all got me thinking about Sam Mills hitting me, man. That boy, he took my soul from me, bro. Bro, he hit me so hard, man. I couldn't breathe for like 3 plays. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to remember who my hardest hit was. My hardest hit came. We played a game in Cincinnati. I don't even remember who the linebacker was. But back then we had that BS offense, but we didn't really have a fullback. Whoever was on the strong side was the fullback. So we had an A back and B back. So I was on the strong side, so I had blitz pickup. So I stepped into the A gap, and this dude came. All I remember is I just went down one knee and just closed my eye. And the next thing I know, my head was ringing. Because that, and I know we went up to scrimmage the Jets, and Ronnie Lott, he didn't hit me, but he just scared the shit out of me. I running the ball, got through the first level, and we in team, but they ain't really hitting. You know what I mean? They know I'm a rook. The Herschel on the sideline. Man, I get to that second level. I look up. I see Ronnie Lott coming, and I thought he was about to light me up. And he just ran right past me and kind of smacked me on the chest as he went past me. Man, my heart was beating so fast because I grew up watching Ronnie Lott, and I was like, I knew what Ronnie Lott was about. So I was like, man, I thought
you caught him on the tail end though. You caught him on you caught him on the tail end.
guys like that, it don't matter.
He probably would have hit you 5 years sooner than that.
End, no.
Guys like that, it don't matter.
He probably would have cracked you 5 years sooner than that.
Man.
That London Fletcher was good too, but I'm looking at the stream.
London
Sam Mills.
I remember London Fletcher.
Singletary. I'm trying to think who the small ones now. What's your boy Bolton?
All of them. Ain't none of them big no more. They all small.
Well, yeah, but they tall. They just not wide.
Right. Yeah, like these guys.
You ain't got too many people. You ain't got too many Levon Kirklands no more.
A lot of these guys, like, they're athletic. You know, they're rangy. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these guys, they sacrifice run defense for pass coverage. Like, and I get it. And
that's why we run the ball. That's why we changed around, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we run the ball now. You know, you run the ball because they got these small guys, small pass rushing guys. And that's why our offensive line is so big. We take advantage. Big people eat little people. And we've been eating them up this last year. We got to get back to eating people again, bro.
Got to get back to the tried and true, man.
Yep.
Run it till they stop it.
Yep. You know, I like the question that we got there also, man. It says Nick Chubb. Can we get Nick Chubb? I'm gonna tell you the truth.
That's a good question. What do you think is going to happen at the
deadline? Chubb or Phillips? Yeah, I'll take Chubb or Phillips. One of those two in Miami because they should have a fire sale right now. I mean, they're gonna lose their coach. They're gonna lose everybody, man. So, I mean, why not give us one of those guys? You know what I mean?
What do you think is a
bigger? Get that ball to Tank Bigsby, man. Tank Bigsby.
Yeah, that was.
Tank Bigsby runs hard.
No, that was.
He trashed a kickoff return though, but he was toting that pill
for sure. And honestly, I think if you're the Eagles, that is the having him go off like that was perfect for them to find out prior to this bye week. Because now you have somebody who's proven to you they can legitimately spell Saquon for God knows how many snaps, right? And you want Saquon as fresh as possible when playoffs start. You want him in the best possible shape. Knowing that Tank Bigsby was able to do what he did, and he's the first RB2 to do that in Philly since we haven't had a running back duo run for over 100 yards since Shady and was it Bryce Brown? So, like, it's been years since we had a running back duo that did that specifically. So, Tank Bigsby is a guy that you got to find a way to give him the ball as much as reasonable, and you want him to be balanced. So, if you're going to run the ball, let's just say hypothetically speaking, Eagles run the ball 25 times, 30 times. All right, Saquon got to get at least 15 of those carries, at least 15, because you know he's going to touch the ball in the passing game too. So, I'm just talking carries. I'm not even talking touches.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, man. And I told we talked about this after the game. I need a couple more weeks of that run blocking because most of those long runs were inside runs that we ended up bouncing outside.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not getting no movement on the inside. We drawing everybody in and we breaking out. And however you got to do it, you got to do it. But for some reason, Kevin Patullo loves to run tackle to tackle, and that hasn't been working for us.
Well, it'll be different now because they got the different mindset. I think, you know, they kind of changed the mindset so they can pretty much run what they want to run now. Them guys coming off, oh, this is how I used to feel to totally dominate people. So now they got that feeling back. I can believe they can. But just like you said, you know, you get to running outside, man. They ran a lot of stretch plays. Stretch meaning on the outside, you block a tackle down, pull the guard around, and you block the tight end down, pull the tackle around, and get out in space where, you know, those guys can work. We didn't do that. We try to run on the inside. You run on the outside, get those guys flowing a little bit. Now, you know, you can get out there, and then now you got safeties and linebackers making business decisions trying to hit Saquon. You know what I mean? So, you know, it use it all, man. You know, open it up, open up the package, man. Call whatever, man, because the mindset is different now. They're gonna want to go out there and impose their will on people. You just got to go out there and block the way they've been blocking, and just really feel like you're the most dominant team and play like you're the most dominant team instead of just thinking and wishing if you step on the field. Because I know that feeling. I was on the Steelers team that every time we touched the field, we had already won the game psychologically because they like, oh man, here come the Steelers. You know, they knew they were going, you know, saying being at ice tub after this game. You know what I'm saying? They already had that mental capacity that, you know, you've already lost the game. We used to come up to the line and tell guys, hey, I used to be like, hey, Marvell, I'm about to block down on him, man. When you pull around, I'm looking at this linebacker out here, man. He looking like he don't want it, bro. He look like he don't want it. And we tell him what we're about to do. And ain't nothing they can do about it, man. That's the most disheartening thing you can do to a defense, bro.
Hey, Barrett, I was trying to tell people when everybody was high on that talk about Kevin Patullo being predictable. My thing was like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
If everybody is clicking, you can tell them where you're going, and they still can't stop you.
No question.
We were having execution failures. That's what we was having.
That was the narrative last year. Like the Eagles' offense was never really complex to begin with. No. It was just the fact that they were just that much better than you. And
bro, you have the mindset. You have the mindset that, all right, then I'm better than you. My team, I won a Super Bowl, and we ran 5 run plays and 5 passing plays.
Let me ask you guys a question real quick. Is there a such thing as, how can I put this, right? The Eagles, just based on how they're built and the kind of plays they run, they're player accountability based, meaning that whatever you get from that offense is going to strictly be based on your personnel's ability to execute and play at their highest level. It seems like that's the way the Eagles offense in particular is set up. It's more so meant for your talent to shine through and kind of carry you above to that next level. Then you have certain offenses that are more so scheme based, right? Not necessarily designed for your best player to win his matchup, but more so designed for you to get your best player the easiest matchup. Does it make sense? So, like, how do you balance that if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, just trying to find out who you are in this new phase of the season, in this new phase of this era of Eagles football? How do you navigate that?
I think balance is the wrong word, but again, I got an old school mentality. Run it until they stop it. That's how I look at it. You go through all week watching film sessions, and you trying to find the tails, you trying to find the weak link, and you attack that weak link. Look at what all of the teams did against us. Go at Keely Ringo until they prove that they can stop it. That's what you do. So it's not about balance or anything. You look down, just like Barrett said. You in the game, and we telling you where you going. This dude don't want to smoke. This is the weak link. Remember the scene in The Waterboy when the kicker was looking around? He was like, "Yeah, there he is."
Oh yeah, there he is.
That's what you do. You find a weak link, or you find somebody that's just getting drugged, and we gonna attack that gap, and we gonna get them, run them off the field.
Yeah, this is the offense. Yeah,
run it till they stop it.
Right. And this is an offense like you see, for instance, you've got the Rams, you got the 49ers. They game plan them guys open all the time. You see rub routes, you see these guys getting wide open and stuff because those head coaches / coordinators game plan so well. But there's also a certain mentality I think the Eagles had last year where, like I said with the Steelers, we would go out there and practice, and it got so bad that, BC, our head coach, Cowher, would say, "Look, guys, if you don't stop beating each other up like that, I'm going to cancel this practice. We're going to go in. Now, chill out. Stop all this, stop all this." He had to tell us to slow down. One time he said, "Hey, you know what? I can't stop you guys. Take it on in. Take it on in. Let's go. Take it on in. This is halfway through practice." He made us get off the field. And as we getting off the field, Joey Portman guys are, "Yo, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We don't need them coaches. F them coaches. Let's go." We go back outside and we ran plays. We were practicing. And finally the coach came back out, like all the coaches came back out like 30 minutes later, and we finished practice, man. I knew when I was in practice that I'm playing against the best defensive end in football in Joey Porter. I'm playing against the best safety in the world in Troy Polamalu, one of the best inside linebackers in James Ferrier. I mean, and they felt as though they're going the same thing. They're going against one of the best running backs in Bussy. They're going to one of the best quarterbacks, Ben Roethlisberger. They're one of the best slot receivers, even though he's slow as pound water, in Hines Ward. You know what I'm saying? You just knew you were playing against the most talented guys in the NFL. So when you got the game, it was easy. The game was easier than practice. Easier than practice, bro.
Yeah, man.
We got to get that swag back. If we have another game like the Vikings game, we'll be halfway there.
That's a good point, Marcus. And this is my final question, my final point to bring up to you, B. Brooks. We kept you for a long time, man. We appreciate you. But here's my final question, right? And this kind of coincides with what we're talking about. Marcus says he needs some more sustainability from this offense before we can officially claim them to be back I don't think that sentiment is wrong at all. So now up and coming on this Eagles schedule after the bye, they have Green Bay on the road at Lambeau. Then they got the Lions in Philly.
Another
then they got the Cowboys on the road. Then they got the Bears at home in Philly. Then they got the Chargers on the road. So this next 5-game stretch is going to tell us a lot about these Philadelphia Eagles, in particular. They're standing in the NFC right out of the bye. Packers, Lions. Those are the 2 teams that are in your way, if you ask me. So, walk me through how you're going to be evaluating the Eagles over the next 2 weeks, next 3 weeks. With these matchups coming up out of the bye.
I want to see if they went to see the Wizard. Did this bye week they go see the Wizard? Did they go get a heart?
They go get the heart.
Yep. They get a mindset. As long as they get the mindset and the heart, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Who they play. And my expectation is they're gonna give you what you come to see, man. So I think the whole mindset has changed. They're gonna be all right. So,
I think our defense is fine. Our defense is already tight. Jalen Carter, that bye week is going to help him out. Hopefully, like you said before, he'll get his moxie back, and he will come back as the double team that we need him to be. He's the game plan on defense. Teams play us; they got to stop Jalen Carter. So hopefully, we'll get that back. Secondary's been good. I still got concerns about CB2, but we've been dealing with it. Hey, young queen.
Bro, that's why I got to get off, man. She's been quiet this entire time. You did a good job, baby. Okay.
She did a real good job. She was there the whole time.
Yeah, she's been here the whole time.
Oh no. She the truth. She's the truth.
She was on her iPad. She look over here. She's done a great job. So, hey man, I appreciate y'all, man. Much love to my bald-headed brethren.
You already know.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all, and thanks for having me on again, man. Let's do this.
You gotta be
again, all right?
Appreciate you, man.
You already know, man. It's always love, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, fellas. Peace.
All right.
Man, shout out to B Brooks, man. Shout out to him.
Yeah, man.
Always making himself available, man. That's a good dude. That's a good. The fact that she was sitting there the whole time chilling, quiet. I'm like, oh yeah, she's the truth. She's the truth, man. But yeah, always a great conversation when Barrett comes on, man. Always.
For sure. But he hit the nail on the head, man. We gotta show and prove.
Yeah.
And just come out. It ain't complicated. We know what we need to do.
Yeah. What stood out to me though is when he said it was a mindset from the beginning thing. Well, when he mentioned the offensive line, he said it was a mindset thing. And we knew the root issues of this team was offensive line based before you get anything else. And like I said, this Eagles team, what they do isn't complex. They're more so player accountability based, right? Their offensive success is more so personnel dependent rather than scheme dependent. So when you're running an offense that's more so personnel dependent and their mind's on right, that's going to show up. That's going to show up way more than a team that's probably scheme dependent, and the play calls are going to get you open no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
He nailed it. This team had a mindset issue, and losing to the Giants the way they did is the kind of game on national television. Just walk out there.
We are not that team where you can just walk out there and things are gonna happen.
But I also think that loss shifted something.
Absolutely,
some furniture got moved after that loss.
It's amazing what happens when you get embarrassed because you don't want to be embarrassed again. And the mindset and being consistent. They cousins. Because what did he say? They were so good on offense when he was with Pittsburgh that Super Bowl year. They could tell you where they were going and couldn't nobody stop you. I've been a part of those offenses before, and I understand. I ran an I formation in college. I was the all-time leading rusher in college. Everybody knew I was getting the ball. Couldn't nobody stop us. So that's it in a nutshell, and it's all about being consistent. Is everybody getting their blocks? Is Saquon getting 5 yards a carry? That's the consistency we need. Then it becomes the running game is hard to stop because the last 7 games, where's the running game? Where's Saquon? And everybody, once again, you got people that's not watching tape. Saquon's not having a good year. He lost the step. I'm like, what are y'all watching? Saquon ain't lost nothing. The offensive line is not getting it done. Our offensive line is not as good as they used to be. And we got to get back to that point. Little bit of injury, little bit of inexperience, and a little bit of the guy that they had in there just wasn't good enough. And we just now getting to the point where we are solving all of those problems. Mailata is playing better because Dickerson is there. Dickerson is playing better because Brett Toth played better at center. Then eventually Cam Jurgens' back is going to heal up. Then he'll be back at center. Then everything will be right in the world.
Yeah, I think it was really important for because again, right, you're trying to find out where guys fit, and you're never going to know where they fit unless you get put into a situation and try to find out if they fit, right? So Matt Pryor, like I said, the first example of you needing to put somebody else in. Matt Pryor was failing at right tackle. Failing. You took him out. Fred Johnson comes in. He reminds you that he was your best swing tackle from the beginning. So then you move Matt Pryor into right guard because I think Steen went down for a little bit, or was it left guard? I can't remember. But he moved into right guard for a moment. Okay, that's where he fits. He's a guard, strictly. He's a right guard. All right, Fred Johnson, Matt Pryor roles, figured out.
Same thing with Becton last year.
You know, Becton, but they found out about him before the season even started because Steen got hurt. But they were working Steen. They were working Becton out, right tackle, right guard, and they said, "Hey, let's try this guy. Let's just try him out here, see what happens."
Same process. Same process.
Right. But this time it was happening. Not saying they didn't do the work in the offseason, but sometimes you don't know until you got to know.
Right.
And Brett Toth, you made the mistake putting him out of guard, thinking he could handle it. He couldn't. You put him at center. He stabilized. So I was like, okay, all right. Now we figured out who our backup center is. God forbid Cam Jurgens goes down again. Now we found out who our legit swing tackle is. That's Fred Johnson, right? Okay, now we found out somebody who can play right guard at somewhat of a stabilizing rate. That's Matt Pryor. So you have your three rotational backup offensive linemen, and they take care of your center, guard spots, and tackle spots, respectively. Now execution is back at the forefront. They executed in that Giants game. I think the way these past two games went leading into this bye is going to be has been so crucial and will be crucial throughout this bye week. It's going to be a lot of self-scouting, a lot of it.
Absolutely.
For sure, man.
Absolutely. But we in a good spot.
I agree. 100%.
We in a good spot. I am so glad everybody just getting a rest.
That's what I wanted to, man. I just want everybody to get away.
BG's still in the weight room. He got to come.
Yeah, I wanted everybody to just what I've been hoping for this bye week is just I want everybody to just get away from everything. You get away from the game, kick your feet up. You know, even after the game was over, Sirianni was like, "Listen, I'll see you guys next Monday." Like, okay, so a whole week off, just disappear, fellas. Disappear and come back with a fresh mind. Your new season begins after the bye.
So I'm ready to watch a whole lot of nothing this weekend as far as the Eagles. So
yeah, some guilt-free, emotionless football.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so
for sure.
All right, bro.
It's been a hell of a stream, man.
It has been a day, bro, with the technical difficulties and everything, man. Damn.
But it's what happens, man. You battle through, man. You battle.
This is the business that we are in. So
yeah, man.
Appreciate everybody in the chat, man. This was a fire conversation, man. Fire conversation.
For sure. Shout out to B Brooks, man. Shout out to Barrett Brooks for making himself available, man. Make sure you guys check out B Brooks on NBC Sports Philly's pre and post game. He's talking at halftime as well with guys like Ruben Frank, Jason Avant. You know what I mean? Michael Barkan.
Yeah, his stuff is good.
Ron Jaworski, they got a squad over there. So make sure you guys show up to our guy, B Brooks, also at Burrs Huddle as well for NBC Sports Philly. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys hit that hype button as well. You guys have been fantastic today. You guys have been donating out the wazoo, so we appreciate y'all. Marcus, any final words, my guy?
Nah, man. We are in a good spot. Things are clicking the way they're supposed to. The only thing that concerns me is when you go through a bye week, do you lose a little bit of that momentum? It's possible, but
with the way their season went, I don't. The way their season went, I don't think so. I think they're looking at it like, okay, finally we figured it out. Where we got so much to build on. I think their excitement level just takes it up a notch because
I think getting the guys healthy. I think specifically Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson being healthy is the biggest key.
I agree
because that makes everything go on that offensive line. I'm expecting to see Saquon run the ball like Saquon. You know, everybody was like, finally, he took one to the house. You know what I mean? So we were looking for that. So just one of them things, man. Thank you for the memberships, man. Katea's mom.
Yeah,
Kathy's
for sure.
mom. Thank you for the memberships.
For sure.
Yeah, man. Great
but that's our show,
conversation.
y'all. Yeah, for sure. So again, smash that like button, smash that hype button, y'all. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you're subscribed to Pro Fan Talk. Subscribe to Chuck It Up Sports. Make sure the notification bell is on. And that's our show. He's Marcus Thomas.
Show.
I'm Tone II. You guys have been tuned into the Bald Eagles podcast. Shout out to our guy, B. Brooks. And as always, fly Eagles fly.
Go Birds.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Markus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights, dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Fly guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Markus always standing by, bringing the heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, yeah.